folks? Welcome to the Daredevil review edition of Nerdout. Just remember, this is a spoiler review show, so please, if you have not seen it, then don't watch this because it's a spoiler episode. You can't get tight of me, alright? So anyways, today on the show, first thing I want to talk about is Matt Murdock. On this show, the portrayal of the character was really good, and it was done very well because the guy, no one's ever heard of the actor, by the way. I've never seen or heard of this guy. I can't even remember his name right now, to be honest. But they did a good job. And he didn't mess up the voice of the character when he did the change. And what I mean by the change is when he went from being Matt Murdock, then going to being Daredevil, he didn't sound like a man who swallowed a Brillo pad. He didn't do that. Good thing. Very impressed by the martial arts of the actor, and watching it when he was fighting, now this is the history of Matt Murdock. I'll give you a little brief rundown. His father was a boxer, as you know, and he learned some of the boxing, but then he had another trainer called Stick, who taught him some martial arts. And if you're a person who studied martial arts like I'd have, you see the transitions like that in the middle of the fighting. He went from going like this at one scene and doing the bob and weave and doing uppercuts and blows to the body and then punches to the face, and then automatically then he switched to kicking and putting his hands on trapping and doing destructions, which is more of like a Jeet Kune Do kind of thing. So overall, that actor's portrayal of Matt Murdock / Daredevil, perfect. Good job. Couldn't have done it better myself. I mean, in terms of choosing the character, man, I was thinking last night, who would have picked outside of him? Even when I heard the news that they didn't pick the actor from Dexter, who I felt would have done a great job, they didn't pick him. I was really bummed out, and then I seen this new guy. I was like, alright. I wasn't really that excited. After watching it now, I gotta say, he pulled he pulled a really audacious move there, and he did really good with that role. He took it and he ran with it. And remembering the Dubaku from 2000s when Ben Affleck played Daredevil was it was horrible. And now, was I worried that what happened in that movie was going to happen in the show? No, I don't think so, because Kevin Feige and Marvel have a really good system, and they haven't failed yet. Now, what I was worried about at first when I heard the show is that, it's going to be a Marvel show, and Marvel doesn't have exactly a good track record of good shows. I mean, I'm sorry, I know that there's people out there that are fans of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, but, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a Marvel show, but it's not an accurate description of. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If you put something called agents, and agents that have to deal with metahumans and mutants or whatever, or people who have powers, you really don't think the government's gonna allow some shiny-faced kids to deal with metahumans that have the ability to take out armies by that's not gonna happen. Like I've said before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been done by the same people who do 24. Am I wrong? Just think about it. Watch 24 another day, the recent series that came out, and then tell me that show doesn't represent Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. represents its own name. I think so. I think it would get better ratings. But hey, I mean, I get it. Every time I say that, people are like, well, they're partnered with Disney. So, I don't mean nothing. Disney movies there's been PG-13 movies backed by Disney. I'm pretty sure, I think Star Wars is one of them. Yeah. Anyways, another subject. Veering off topic. But in watching the show, you see the character go through these changes. He goes from wearing the costume. He goes from wearing all black costume, his vigilante costume, and then finally he gets the suit, and we were all hyped up for it. I mean, man, the suit looks great because it stuck to the traditional Daredevil look, and it modified it. Because let's be real, there would be no way you'd be sneaking up on anybody in a bright red costume. It looks like the suit is just a darker color, which is good. He is a nighttime hero. Daredevil is in the category of Marvel Knights. And Marvel Knights is basically consisted of Daredevil, Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Elektra. It's a retired, I wouldn't say not a series, but kind of a brand name that the Marvel universe was using. And it was basically all those characters had their own books, but it said Marvel Knights on it, and it was a lot more darker, a lot more grittier. The artwork was beautiful, by the way, and I'll show you some of that. But yeah, I mean the show and the portrayal of Matt Murdock, Daredevil, was really good, and I can't wait to see what else they get into. Now onto the Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio. Ooh boy, that role. I like the fact that he brought his own energy to that character. He played a more psychopathic mob boss. Smart, professional, intelligent, calculating, but very, very vicious. Very vicious. And, and he just, man, I knew he was a good pick, because when he came up on the panel for the New York Comic Con last year, I was like, yes, finally, he looks like a mob boss. He can act like the mob boss, and I've seen him play a bad guy before. Vincent D'Onofrio is a very brilliant actor, and I knew that was the perfect pick. You couldn't pick anyone better for that role. Thinking about the Kingpin, now yes, rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan. He was a good actor, and he played a very flashy version of him, but it still wasn't accurate. So I wasn't, even when I watched the movie when I was a kid, I was like, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling his portrayal of it. He could have played a good character. If it were up to me, I would have had Michael Clark Duncan play Rhino. Just saying. I think if I had a time machine, I would go back in time, tell Sam Raimi not to bring in the Sandman, and bring in Michael Clark Duncan as Rhino. And yeah. Anyways, the Kingpin, I was first exposed to it back in 1994 or 95, somewhere around there, when the epic Spider-Man series came out with a really cool soundtrack. And that Kingpin wasn't necessarily psychotic, but he was very calculating, very intelligent. He knew how to pull his strings. And he wasn't in Hell's Kitchen, he was just in Manhattan. He stayed at the Chrysler Building in that show, and he basically employed Alistair Smythe. He basically would do a lot of favors for people that would put them in a position that they could not say no to him. And in this show, you kind of see a little bit of that, and you see him do that. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought that his boy, the side character, was Alistair Smythe, but it wasn't, because he got popped. That's it for him. But hey, it's cool. I'm pretty sure we will see Alistair Smythe in probably the next season. But even in the comic books, back to Kingpin, in the comic books, you know, he has his intelligent side, then he has a side where he's just like, he's vicious when it comes down to him having to use his hands. And man, when he put his hands on people, I felt bad for him. I was like, he just flipped the switch like quick, from talking like a businessman and how he likes to run things to straight up murdering you, putting his hands and his feet on you to kill you. I mean, like, I don't know where they pulled this performance from, but it was good. He went from being professional and nice to moving heaven, hell, and earth and everything in between to kill you, and himself, when he could have other people do it. Vincent D'Onofrio, I really do hope that this show gets awards and it gets credit for its. I hope that the devil gets its due. All right, the show deserves that, pun intended. But what will be next? Who knows? I hope in the next season we will see Elektra, but she was mentioned in the show. I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah, I'll just tell you where. Anyways, they mentioned her. She was the Greek girl that went to school, that was going to law school with them. That's Elektra. I hope that we see her, and I can't wait to see who they pick for her. I really, really want to see Bullseye in his costume. Now, some of you are thinking, what do you mean see Bullseye in his costume? He wasn't even on the show. Yes, he was. He was the guy who's using the gun on the roof, who's shooting the cops. That was Bullseye. He had a pack of cards in his side of his pocket. All right, go back, watch the show. That's Bullseye. And seeing what they did with Daredevil's costume, when they get to Bullseye's costume, it's gonna get lit. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be sweet. I know they're gonna do a really good job on that costume. Now, that's pretty much it. I'm out of time. What I will tell you is, please, I'm trying to get to 100 likes. We gotta make this happen. We got to. I came from Dare to Draw. Nice contest. I met some really talented artists. I met Steve Rudd, the comic legend. If you do not know who he is, shame on you, because he is a very talented artist and he's a legend in the comic industry. Now, what I'm doing, and I'll say it again, I'll just keep on saying it until we reach May 1st. May 2nd, May 3rd, I'm going to see Avengers. May 2nd, I'm going to see it regular, and then May 3rd, I'm going to see it in IMAX Sunday. Once we reach 100 likes, I will find one person, and that person will let them know their information, and they watch the show, and I'm going to see it in that box, that comic box. That person's going to get that ticket. They will not have to pay to see Avengers. They will come to see it with me, either May 1st or May 2nd. There's 2 tickets available. I'm pretty sure one is already I've gotten rid of 4 tickets, so I only got like 2 left, so I'm being real with you here. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to watch it. So, as always, live long and prosper, and have a good day.